Okay, so now it's time. So thank you very much. I think WMU is ready to start this webinar. So hello and greetings from the World Maritime University. Welcome to this new series of the WMU Alumni Webinars focused on contemporary maritime education and training topics. My name is Professor Momoko Kitada, Head of Maritime Education and Training at World Maritime University. The Maritime Education and Training series aim to respond to new challenges and opportunities for various maritime education needs today. This is the second MET webinar, which will focus on human factors and non-technical skills in VTS training. Our speaker today is Ms. Latifa Omozon, Education and Training Manager at the IALA Worldwide Academy, and she's also our alumni. Welcome. And I would now hand over to today's moderator and discussant, WMU Associate Professor Inga Batis-Visiene.
Thank you so much, Professor Kitada. Hello, everyone joining us today from different places of the world. As you know, I'm Inga Bartusevic, an Associate Professor in MET here at WMU. I am specialized in education sciences, in curriculum development, educational theories, innovations in assessment and education. I have also been working on the topics of well-being and resilience in the maritime industry. Today, we are diving into something that can make or break the safety in vessel traffic services, human factors and non-technical skills. VTS isn't just about systems and procedures. It's a socio-technical environment where situation awareness, decision-making, communication, and teamwork shape its performance and matter sometimes more than the technology. To discuss this, we are happy to have Ms. Latifa Omozon, the Education and Training Manager at the IALA Worldwide Academy, where she leads the development, delivery, and assessment of international training programs and supports the Academy's quality and operational work. Ms. Omozon is also a MET professional and a graduate of WMU. Ms. Omozon, we are excited to have you. So we will start with several questions, then proceed with Ms. Omozon's presentation, followed by questions and answers from the chat. Please pose your questions in the question and answer section below, and we will try to answer as many of them as we can during this time. However, our answers in written form will be provided later on if we will not manage them to answer today. Also, please note that the recording of the webinar will be available. So, Ms. Omozon, you are Education and Training Manager at IALA Worldwide Academy. When people hear Education and Training Manager, they might imagine a desk job. What does your work really involve day to day?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Prof. Inga. Thank you, Prof. Momoko. And it's nice to meet again with all WMU faculty, staff, and alumni community. Actually, my current job is far from a desk job. It's not at all only a desk job, so part of it, but it involves a lot of extensive travel and continuous interaction with the diverse audiences from diverse cultural, professional, organizational background, as well as varying level of responsibilities. Also, a part of my job, I'm responsible for training development, as well as coordinating and planning with host countries and accredited training organizations that are delivering IALA model courses. So sometimes either it's an academy training that is hosted somewhere in the world, or it's a collaboration. We deliver a course together with an accredited training organization. We also engage part of my work also is engaging closely with stakeholders to ensure that training programs are relevant, inclusive, and aligned with international standard and evolving sector needs. I also work together with jointly with the IALA committee, mainly in the development of IALA model courses, explaining needs that we observe through our work and our interaction with different coastal state and organization, and also to support the overall capacity building initiatives to strengthen the global East to Navigation community. And when we speak about East to Navigation, we also speak about VTS as a service that is considered also one of the marine East to Navigation. Yeah, so it's quite a lot of things together in the job. Yeah.
So it's not
Thank you.
only desk job, right?
No, not at all.
Ms. Latifa, you studied at WMU, which is known for its international and system level perspective. What are one or two lessons from WMU that you still use regularly in your current work?
Actually, every day I realize that I learned a lot from my experience in WMU. I mean, either at formal level, academic level, I can say, and also informal learning we get through the interaction with faculties, with each other, being student at that time. So thanks to WMU, I actually became fully operational immediately when I joined my job. And also this is because of, or thanks to this being in this multicultural environment that gives me and taught me how to navigate different perspectives, how to adapt communication style, also to meet and to respond to different professional expectation. It's also, I can say, my experience at WMU shaped how I facilitate inclusive discussion, also adapt to different situation, different training delivery sometime to different audiences, and also build trust. It's also one of thing I learned. So when you build trust, it's easy then to collaborate and to cooperate with others, and makes later the engagement easy. And then you can provide appropriate learning experience to the audience, and a good engagement from them to achieve, I mean, joint objectives. So from our side, we have certain objectives. Also from their side, for example, our audience, they have also certain objectives. So it's quite actually a lot of things we learned. I learned personally in WMU journey, let's say.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Latifa. And your role today is quite complex, right? Often involving balancing across different cultures and contexts. In what ways did WMU prepare you to this complexity? And how has your WMU experience helped you to lead improvements in human factors and non-technical skills training?
Yeah, so as I said before, actually, I was thinking that in the beginning, after the graduation, it's only academic. I mean, being MAT, so it's more on development of programs, assessment, feedback, learning options or facilities, resources that we could also use for learning. But then I realized that it's actually more broader than that. So I remember well that when I joined, I started immediately my first month going to traveling, interacting with stakeholders, with people, with audiences, with participants. So before, after later, I realized that looking into the experience itself, I realized that I learned a lot. And I can all the time make a kind of benchmarking of, or like comparison with when I was student, how our faculty were engaging with us. So I realized that actually I learned from these details, like everyday exchange with faculties, with also I mean the everyday exchange also with colleagues from different backgrounds. This group works we did together. So all this, I can say that taught me to place strong emphasis on the human element. So it's important to understand, as I mentioned, expectation, build trust, respect, empower individuals while taking into account their differences, I mean, cultural background, level of responsibility. I think this was and still fundamental in how I approach audiences, engagement with them, and also the delivery of training. So we deliver quite in different area of the world, so different backgrounds, sometimes very competitive groups, sometimes not. So you have to adapt to each scenario. Another thing that I find very, very important for WMU community is the network of WMU alumni. So personally, many think in my job when I try to start working in an area of the world with a country, when I know that there is a WMU, when I started speaking to a WMU alumna, it's easy to build dialogue, to start working. So it's like we share the same mindset. Even like also we feel that we know each other, if even we were not same class. And that make also easy. And I really value this human capital, I can say, is extremely valuable in our operation. And it helps a lot. And recently in different academy now here activities, either training or other mission to countries, my network with WMU alumni was very helpful. And we were recently in contact. I can mention some countries, maybe Philippines, Belize, Iraq, Sierra Leone, Egypt. Just like 2 weeks ago, I met two people from Belize and Iraq. So their colleagues were my colleague in WMU, same class. And I can maybe take the opportunity to say hi to Zain and Kailon Yang from here. So yeah, I see that it's really make things easy with this human capital we earned or we gained from WMU experience.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Latifa. You mentioned already many non-technical skills, right? And
Yeah.
Ayala often describes VTS as social technical system where people, technology, procedures interact. And can you please share how non-technical skills can be defined from VTS perspective?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen. I have some first slide to just explain some stuff before we get into non-technical skills into VTS. Yeah, can you see my screen? I think it's fine.
Not yet. I don't see.
Okay, so sorry, I start again. Yes, sorry, I just didn't press the button. Now it's okay.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, thank you very much. So for my presentation, I will speak first about VTS, just try to explain again what are the main function of VTS and highlight some differences between VTS and local port service or other services, and looking also to the training framework, how it's organized worldwide, and what is the role of the Ayala in that. And then we can go into the non-technical skills in VTS. Sorry, just want to. Yes, sorry, because I wanted to go to the next slide and then, yeah, so firstly, for the VTS, especially after the last IMO resolution 1158, so it was not clear what is really a VTS and what is the role of VTS or what is the function. So there were a lot of misunderstanding and confusion with other services. And also it was not, let's say, regulated. So then when that resolution came into in force, so it invites contracting government to establish or to define or to designate a competent authority for services, VTS, as a regulator. And then also clarify the responsibilities of service provider. And now the VTS function, if we look at it like the three main functions of VTS, it includes information services or provide timely and relevant information, traffic organization, monitor and manage ship traffic, and navigational assistance, mainly to respond to development and safe situations. For the information services, it includes positioning, identity, intention, and movement of ship, maritime safety information, reporting formalities, and any support and cooperation with the allied service, with pilotage, with harbor master, and so on. For the traffic organization, it's more about planning ship movement in advance, organizing ship underway and space allocation, establishing system of traffic clearances, establishing voyage or passage plan, and provide routes advice and regulatory compliance if needed. And of course, responding to developing unsafe situation is assisting ships when there is a situation or near miss, ship diving from route or requiring guidance, for example, if there is several meteorological condition, emergency response and support for emergency services. So now if a competent authority or a country or a coastal state or a port declare themselves as a VTS, this should comply or they should be able to provide these three services. Like the master mariner or the ship users, they will expect that they can receive these three services if needed. If they are like facing an unsafe situation, so the service, the VTS could support them then. But if this local port service or the service provided is only information service, it's not a full VTS service. So this resolution came in to resolve this confusion that was in the past vague as in definition and was not very clear. So there is a clear distinction between VTS and local port service. Local port service, it's only about the first function. So it's important to understand this distinction. The second thing is about IALA or the VTS framework, and IALA is playing a very important role in that, but it's not, again, the accrediting body or the approving body. So IALA only developed the guideline or the standard on how to establish VTS training. But the accreditation and the approval process are the responsibility of the competent authority. So the coastal state should designate a competent authority responsible of VTS, and then it's the one that can accredit a training institute to deliver VTS training. So it's again the basic for that is the IMO resolution we mentioned, A1158, and also IALA standard is 1050 on certification, training and certification. And there is also an IALA guideline that explains the steps for the accreditation and approval. So the accreditation is for the training institute itself. It's the formal endorsement that a training organization operates under a quality management system to deliver effective training. And the approval is per IALA model course. So for example, you speak IALA model course VTS operator. So this training institute should be able to deliver this course based on the IALA model course, and it looks about implementation, delivery, and assessment. So the IALA VTS model courses are 5 now, and the first one is VTS operator training. So it's the core generic training for VTS operator that are dealing directly with vessels and giving information, performing these 3 functions we mentioned in the beginning. It covers in general communication as competences or key competences, communication, navigation, maritime law, and operational procedures. And then we have VTS supervisor training. The role of VTS supervisor is managing VTS operation, staff performance, and emergency procedure. And we have the model course number 3, VTS on the job training. It is a practical training phase where trainee vessel traffic services operates work in a real VTS environment. So they perform or they do the training in a real VTS environment. It's not a simulator, but for example, a service, a VTS service place, let's say, under the supervision of experienced personnel, of course. And then we have on-the-job training instructor. So this equip experienced VTS personnel to deliver structured on-the-job training and operational VTS centers. So it's for instructors how to perform or how to deliver training in the on-the-job training environment. And then we have revalidation process. It's about maintaining certified competences through revalidation. It's a process of continuous monitoring of the training, and it's subject of all these 4 model courses. There should be a process of revalidation. And it can be either via training organization that is accredited and approved, or by the service provider itself. So a VTS service provider can do or can conduct the revalidation process for their staff, their operators or supervisors. For the accreditation, it's about the general organizations, so the quality management system, the stakeholders' needs, the scope of the quality management system that should be in place, the leadership, the planning, the support, all the resources, competency, communication, the operation, how process control, if we have external provider, service delivery, and of course, performance and monitoring. So it's the training organization. So we look at that element. We look at the structure of the quality management system. And then we have the approval of the model course. So the approval is the core of the educational aspect, let's say. So it covers entry requirements. So the training organization should have a documented entry requirement or criteria aligned to each model course. Also look to national requirements considered, because also at national level, we don't have a unified format or for example, entry requirement to be a VTS operator. So some countries, for example, require that they have C experience or have a master certificate, but some they can bring people that they've never been at sea, no maritime background, but they have extensive preparation program before they follow, for example, the IALA model course for VTS operator. So it's again something also to highlight that there is not one model worldwide, but depend on every country how they specify this in their national requirement. We have also recognition of prior learning. Again, if we have C experience, what will be the how we can capitalize or value this experience if we don't have any C experience. So it's again, thing that should be clarified in this approval process. And then we have course curriculum. So all the lesson plan, how they align to the model course, including methodology, learning methods, minimum hours, and total duration. We have also the training delivery. The options we have, it's all in person or online or blended. And what would be the training delivery methods? We have also the instructor and assessor qualification. So it's about instructors, their requirements. Again, it differs according to each national model. So it's also not one model worldwide. The same for assessors, but of course there are IALA guidelines that can support countries to develop or to build their framework. We have also student assessment and record, so everything about assessment, how we record, result documented, certification, endorsement, and so on. So these are the elements or the key requirements that are covered under the approval process per model course. And then there is international recognition at IALA and IALA role in that. So as we explained, so the accreditation and the approval, it's a national process. But of course, there are some individuals from a country A can attend or can do their VTS training in a country B. So there is a mechanism of reciprocal agreement to recognize accredited training organization or to recognize the accreditation of another country. It's almost the same principle of STCW recognition, let's say, and that the IALA guideline recommend that recognition is formalized via a letter of confirmation or an MOU or another appropriate instrument between the two coastal states. Competent authorities also informs or are invited to inform IALA of the accreditation requests or the accreditation performed, and IALA can support in this process, facilitating this process, and explaining roles, responsibilities. After accreditation, the details of the training organization are listed on IALA website, and then can be also published. So if individuals or other coastal state looking for training, accredited training organization, they can find all the information on IALA website. And also IALA logo is used also in the certificate in IALA member state countries where we have training organization. In general, the accreditation is valid for 5 years into 3 audit stage: pre-audit, accreditation audit, and approval audit. And the approval process covers these 4 model courses. And basically it's based, or the guideline is based on the ISO 21001. And now we move, this is like just introduction to understand what is a VTS and what is the training framework. And now we go to look into human factors and non-technical skills in VTS training. So VTS is defined under IALA guideline, as a complex system, one where operates organization, technology, organization and technology doesn't function in isolation, but constantly interact with one another. Understanding this interaction is central to how we approach human factors and ergonomic in VTS. Actually, what makes VTS genuinely complex is the breadth of its operating environment. So in general, operators serve a wide variety of customers, and while staffing level and local organization vary from center to center, VTS is very often working within a larger port system, for example, alongside with pilot services, tags, and of course, the ship and their crew. Looking at that 3 pillars, so if we look to the slide, we have human, technology, and organization. So on the human side, we have operators with skills and experience. We look to the performance that shaping factors. We look to elements like workload, stress, and fatigue, and also sensory inputs and cognition, and technical skills. So we have technical skills that we all know, how to use the equipment, how to interact with data, but there are also the non-technical skills that we will look at in the upcoming slide. And at technology level, we have decision support system. We have in general VHF communications means, workstation and display design, human-centric design, automation, data system integration. At organizational level also, or organization element, we have certain standard operating procedure, staffing and shift schedule, training provision, safety and quality management, and also all sort of reporting and learning system. So in practice, these 3 dimensions are deeply interconnected and considered as a real-world example. In many centers, VTS operators are co-located with pilotage, ordering services, and port operation teams. So in that kind, for example, of real-world example, An operator doesn't rely solely on their decision support system, but they are also drawing on VHF radio and the situational awareness shared informally with colleagues right next to them. So that's why we have to consider this dynamic, that socio-technical system in action. So basically, this is how the VT is described as a socio-technical system. And if we look to what non-technical skills means when we speak about VTS, so they are the cognitive, social, and personal resource skills that complement technical knowledge and contribute to safe and efficient task performance. So in VTS, non-technical skills are the behaviors, attitude, and interpersonal skills that operators bring to their role beyond operating the equipment. And here, for example, on the right side of the slide, we have technical skills, it's non-technical skills. For example, for communication, we have operating VHF equipment, but the non-technical skills is to be able to provide or to perform a clear and ambiguous communication. There is also a reading reader EIS display, but the non-technical skills related to that is to maintaining the situational awareness. For applying routine procedure, for example, is the decision-making under pressure. Using decision support systems that we have, it's managing also workload and stress. And these non-technical skills are also categorized into 3 levels again. Cognitive, it's all like mental, perception, memory, reasoning, decision-making, situational awareness. Social, the communication, teamwork, leadership, coordination with the allied service or other stakeholders. And personal is also how to manage workload, stress, fatigue, and also task prioritization. So when we are under pressure, we have to know how to prioritize and focus on the make some decision. I mean, that sometimes they are critical, so it's not sometimes easy to make such prioritization. If we look to the core non-technical skills defined into the IALA guideline 1171, we have 6 non-technical skills: situation awareness, decision-making, communication, teamwork and cooperation, leadership and authority, and task and workload management. So on situation awareness, it's perceiving, understanding, and projecting the state of the VTS area. So looking at the same time to the shape, to the environment, to the meteorological data, to the hazards, or like expecting the undesired scenario that can be developed, and the evolving traffic picture. On the decision making, it's more about being able to identify option, evaluate risk, and select appropriate action under time pressure with incomplete information and multiple variables. So sometimes we don't have the overall picture, or we have some incomplete information, but at the same time, you have to take some decision. Communication, obviously, to be clear and ambiguous. Also, it's important to close the communication loop. We will be back to that later. Also using the standard marine communication phrases. It's the same also for STCW training. Teamwork and cooperation, supporting colleagues, sharing information, coordinating with pilot services, port operation and maritime rescue coordination, for example, and flagging any concerns openly and proactively. And of course, leadership and authority, it's taking a responsibility of the traffic picture, have a supervisory oversight, asserting VTS authority appropriately, especially in developing a safe situation. And we have the last one is the task and the workload management. It's also about managing the workload, managing his or her stress, prioritizing tasks, managing multiple simultaneous demand, recognizing also personal limit, workload, stress, observing fatigue coming in, and of course all the procedure of handover and managing also the reporting or the handover or shift handover. So it's quite all these aspects actually have also an aspect technical, but most of it's a non-technical skills that and more about if we speak about Bloom's taxonomy, it's more psychomotor and affective domain that we are looking here too. So for the cognitive and non-technical skills, mainly situation awareness and decision making. So for example, the situation awareness, it's discussed at 3 levels. The first level is the perception. It's all about collecting raw data from IES, for example, reader, VHF, a weather system, and aligned service, and being able to selecting and look into the most critical information. The level 2 is understanding what the information means for current traffic and safety, and integrating this multiple source into a coherent mental picture of the VTS area. Level 3 is projection, is anticipating future vessel movement, anticipating also developing hazards and potential conflict or potential incident. What will happen next if I take no action? Or what will be the implication if I take such action? So mainly this is about the situational awareness. And if we look to decision-making factors that also affect the situation awareness and decision-making, is something we call single focus of attention or tunnel perception, is when some complex task for dangerous situation, for example, makes an operator concentrated on it fully. So it's easy under stress to ignore, to look to other aspects, or to look to or maybe that will lead to ignore some simple activities to resolve, or ignore another evolving dangerous activities. So sometimes human is intent or has a it can easily go to focus on one problem, trying to resolve it without being focusing or with ignoring other and developing, for example, situations that are happening in the same time. So it's important to be aware of this tunnel perception that sometimes we are intent to have. Also fatigue, monotonous watchkeeping can decrease perception, also cognition and decision speed, and that can lead to maritime incidents. Stress, of course, short-term stress can rise performance sometimes, but quickly can causes fatigue and tunnel focus, and it has to be or must be managed at organizational level. So it's again the responsibility of the supervisor, the service provider system as a whole, to be careful of how to manage stress and workload. Human error also is one of the factors that affect decision making and cognition. We have slip of action, memory lapse. Sometimes we have knowledge-based mistakes or bias. So that all affect VTS decision maker. And for the social, again, non-technical skills, we have communication, teamwork, and leadership. So for communication, it's important to use the standard marine communication phrases with vessels. So it's recognized and endorsed by IMO, and that both seafarer and VTS operator using. It's important also to be able to ensure clear and unambiguous language, no informal phrasing that allows misinterpretation. It's important also to close communication loop. So Operators are invited to repeat back and confirmation of understanding. The feedback here is very important. So it's important that they keep repeating and until they confirm that the instruction are well received and understood. Voicing assumption, expectation and concerns actively. So also to be able to articulate well and all the voicing assumptions to avoid. And also to ensure consistent communication across shift handover. This is also has also a teamwork and cooperation thing and has a link also to organizational procedure, but it's important also to be clear and consistent when there is a shift handover. For teamwork and cooperation, it's about coordination with pilots, services, support operation, and other stakeholders that may be involved. Information sharing among co-located operator within the VTS center. Cross-checking, if a colleague misses something, speak up proactively. Also resource management, similar, for example, for the bridge management on board, and use all human resource effectively. It's also about organizational culture that must support open-mindedness and error tolerance. And if we look to leadership and authority, it's about taking ownership of the traffic picture and VTS services obligation, asserting authority appropriately, especially in developing dangerous situation. Take also the supervised role, look into the supervised role. It has to maintain overview when operators are focused on specific incident, watch handover, active communication of the full situation picture, and of course, supporting junior operators without creating cultural of silence or like of silence or passivity. So it's all about how to engage and how to exercise the authority that VTS has or take responsibility of the traffic picture and VTS services overall. And then we have self-management, also one of the dimension of these non-technical skills, mostly workload, stress, and fatigue, and it's not really actually related only to VTS, but to all jobs in general. But in just VTS and seafarer, they have this critical link to the safety of navigation. So for the performance shaping factors of these non-technical skills is the workload. So VTS operator, for example, should be able to manage simultaneous demand, multiple vessels, communication channel, and allied services. It requires active task prioritization. Understaffing sometimes directly increase workload and incident risk. So it's again organizational consideration, staffing, shifting, and so on. Stress, as we mentioned already, short-term stress can arise operator efficiency, but long-term stress can cause fatigue, tunnel perception, errors can lead to error. Stress also caused by interpersonal issues or personal problems can make also lead to stress and can also impact the performance. Insufficient staffing or technical degradation also can be considered here. We have also fatigue. It's also human, and monotonous watchkeeping reduces perception, cognition, and response speed. Fatigue management must be also addressed at the organization level through scheduling, shift rotation, and rest. And we have the organizational recommendation according to the guideline 1171. It's important to assign procedure to proactively adjust shift schedule when staffing is reduced. It's also important to switch operators on watch if there are signs of fatigue or loss of concentration. Implement resource management procedure similar to bridge management in shipping and CRM in aviation. No single operator should handle an evolving incident without supervisor assistance. And here it's important to highlight the role of and the responsibilities of the supervisor. It's also important to define formal watch handover procedure with active situational briefing. And of course, VTS training must address fatigue, stress, and their effect on operator performance. Now in Ayala, there is a discussion to develop. Initially, it was a task, a working group task to handle or to make some guidance on how to manage stress, but now it's becoming broadly discussed as being mental health and well-being. Also, it's important to provide access to human factor specialists to monitor and support operator well-being. And in that side also that Ayala committee, VTS committee is working to be able to provide some guidance to service providers or training organizations to consider this mental health and well-being element in the training, VTS training, either also in, at organizational level for VTS provider. So in terms of look into this consideration of empowering VTS operator to be able to manage the workload, stress, fatigue, and put in place procedures and rules that can help to improve these skills. Yes, so this is all about my presentation regarding the the non-technical skills. And thank you for your attention. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Latifa. So interesting, and thank you for explaining the role of Ayala in all these processes. And while listening to you, I was thinking it could be a very good topic for your PhD dissertation. So we have several questions from our participants, and I'll start with the first one. It's the question from Hang Nguyen P. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. So, and the question is, what skills do you think is the most important for VTS operator? And the second question is, now VTS operator salary is very low. How to improve this problem?
Okay.
Could you share your opinion?
Yes. I think most of the all these non-technical skills actually are important because also they are interrelated and they all affect the VTS operator work if we are looking into the VTS operator role in particular. But maybe the most important one is the communication. So clear communication and either look into that into the training perspective, also inside the service provider. So it's not also only about how to perform this using the VHF, for example, equipment, but it's also how to be clear, how to avoid ambiguity, how to close this communication loop, make sure that your message is well received, your instructions are well received, and get the feedback that are received. It's important to consider this into the training and the learning method we use when we are discussing this topic. But I cannot see it's only the communication, but personally, I find the communication is the main one, as one of the main function of VTS is being able to provide the timely information and also to provide instructions if there is an unsafe situation that may happen, and we have to try to avoid it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Excellent. And we have one more related question from Antonio Palisok. How VTS operator cope with the language barrier?
Yeah, this is a very important question also, and we are aware of that in VTS committee as well. So they are trying to I think it's about to be finalized now. The guideline is how to assess the English competency. So English proficiency is a requirement for VTS operator, and there is a lot of work done. I think it's almost finalized on how to assess the English proficiency, how to help putting in place a good teaching method, good way to assess. Yeah, but it is something that they need some background in the English language, and then they need to perform well during the VTS training programs to be able to communicate properly key message to users.
Yeah, it's very important to be understood, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. And I have some comments from WMU graduate of 88, like Awad Al-Balawi. And he writes, we all knew that simulators are essential in training and that AI has become a tool for improving operations. Therefore, the human elements indispensable to technology and artificial intelligence. And this is his comment. Any opinion of yours?
Yes, so first off, thanks simulation. So it's one of the also thing to consider in VTS training, also on the job training when we are in a real world VTS environment. And regarding AI, yes, we are all aware. I mean, in all educational program, not only for VTS, that AI now is becoming emerging, is becoming a reality, and we have to deal with it. And also now in the VTS committee, they are starting discussing this element either for the job of the VTS and also in training perspective. And not only that one, but also there is now with moving to the IS100 framework by IHO, product specification, and Ayala is in charge of IS200 domain. So there is a data model for data exchange for VTS, and it can also has a lot of consideration with AI and other things. So the future really of the VTS job is also under discussion how we predict this in this AI area. Yeah. So, but I don't have the answer now, but I mean, still under discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big topic nowadays, right? Yeah, we have a question from Jesus Menacho. Is Ayala able to recognize private METIs to deliver Ayala courses in a country?
Yes, I was expecting some kind of this question. That's why I did the emphasis on explaining the training framework. So Ayala actually doesn't recognize any training institute. So Ayala only developed the framework, the guideline, and thing. But from our experience, yeah, there are private entities, private MET delivering VTS training, but it's the decision of the competent authority to accredit them or not. So it's a national decision also to make. You only want public MET to deliver VTS training, or you can also have private MET delivering VTS training. Yeah, but there are many private worldwide.
Okay, thank you. So Ghazali Hamza Ibrahim is asking two questions.
Okay.
First one, what does a typical day look like for a VTS operator? If you know.
I don't know really how to describe, but it's quite also stressful work in general. It's critical as the seafarer work. So watchkeeping have to be aware of all the what's going on. They deal with different sorts of information, especially in very busy area where the traffic is challenging. Yeah, it can be very, very, very difficult job, I can say.
Okay, and the second question from this person, what are the common mistakes VTS operators make? Like new VTS operators, maybe newcomers?
Maybe this tunnel perception we spoke about, that they can focus on one issue and they not ignore other things happening around. Also, maybe not closing the communication loop, especially when we are under stress. Yeah, sometimes we know all the procedures, we are aware of all these things, but performing this under some difficult circumstance can be challenging. And of course, error is human. So, and there are other considerations as we discussed: stress, fatigue, workload, understaffing. We have 2 operators that are handling a really very complicated area. So, yeah, I think, yeah, it's more about, communication and yeah, the situational awareness, being able to keep the broad picture of the traffic in the area.
Yeah, thank you. Let's take one more question, the last one. From Ahmed Mohi Ibrahim. How would VTS identify that a vessel is experiencing a cyber-related navigation abnormality? For example, AA's spoofing or EGDIS?
Yeah, I don't have a clear answer actually, but it will be then managed through communication. But if yeah, I don't know to have a clear, to be honest on this, but I think I can maybe go through some IALA documents to check that kind of incident and how VTS operator dealt with it, and how they will be able, for example, to recognize ships in such a situation. I'm sure there will be some scenarios, but I don't have the information right now. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you very
Latifa.
much. My
And
pleasure.
maybe a short one, the last one, from Fernando Parcio. How many hours does a VTA operator works per day?
In general, it depends again on the national requirements. So we've been recently in Istanbul and we visited the VTS. So they work 4 hours. It's almost shifting like on board, but in other places they can work 8 hours. So depending on the capacity, again, the staffing, the yeah, the structure, the service provider organizational structure. So yeah, but we can have different model.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Latifa, for providing your insights on human factors and non-technical skills in VTS training. I learned a lot, and I think it's very interesting topic. Yes, technology supports safety, but people make it happen, right? Even the most advanced technology cannot prevent an accident if human factors are overlooked. So thank you so much. And now I'll hand over to Professor Kitanda.
Thank you very much, Ms. Latifa, and also Professor Inga for this very interesting session of the MET webinar series. And we have one more webinar scheduled in May, as you can see on the screen, which is focusing on the enhancing onboard training with Dr. Yusuke Mori as a speaker and Professor Michael Manuel as a moderator and a discussant. So each webinar has a unique independent registration link. So please, if you're interested, register through the link on the chat. I suppose there's a link there. Yes. And thank you once again for your participation and also very interesting questions. And we will be in touch and hopefully see you at the next webinar. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.